Engaging those abs. Bend your knees just a little bit and you're just going to reach side to side. Keeping your hips steady. So you're just trying to slide those ribs from one side to the other. Engaging the abs. Keeping the shoulders out of the ears. One more time, each side. Come back into the center. You're going to take your left arm down and your right arm up like you're raising your hand, trying to answer a question, and you drop something, but you want to keep your hand in the air. So again, you're really contracting through your obliques, keeping that shoulder lifted, and it's going to rotate a little bit with you as you keep it up in the air. So really squeeze your core muscles here, engaging the abs. Keeping that arm lifted as high as you can. If it doesn't go all the way up in the air, that's fine. You should feel this through your midsection. Pull that belly in. One more. Come back to the center, switch sides. Crunch. Two more times. Bring it down. Take those arms back out to the sides. If your shoulders are getting tired, you can bring them down. You can also bring your hands across your chest. Here, what we're going to do is take this shoulder toward that ankle. You're going to reach and come up. So remember those hip hinges. You're pushing your tailbone back as you come forward with your torso. So your back stays nice and long. When I was in elementary school, these were called cherry pickers, and I still don't know why. Keep going, really pull that belly in. Use your abs to get your torso back up. Two more on each side. Bring it back into the center. Now take your hands across your chest. And what you're going to do is just bend at the waist and come up. Engaging these tiny muscles around your spine. Keeping that back long. It's less of a hip hinge here. You're just leaning forward like you're bowing. Well, you are bowing. Keeping that back nice and strong. Really squeeze your shoulder blades back and down. Engage your core. Keep it engaged. Let's do 4 more of these. If you feel a lot of pressure in that low back, don't go as low, but really try to roll the shoulders back and down. One more time. Bring it in. Roll your shoulders out, shake everything out, and give me a big march with a crunch over to the side. So trying to shorten the distance between your armpit and the opposite hip as you come up, but don't give me a real weird bend there. You're just shortening your abdominal muscles. Four more. Last one. Bring it down. Bring your arms out to the sides. Again, if your shoulders are tired, you can be here, you can be here. You're going to lift the knee again, and then the same side you're going to crunch. And then crunch. Finding that balance each time. Try to put your shoulder blade in your back pocket. Two more on each side. Hold it here. Give yourself a little break. Need some hip circles, both directions. Come back to the center and let's do that pelvic tilt a few times. So just tilt forward, tilt back, forward and back. So we're going to do a few more squats. If you like squats, stick around. Two more. We're going to do kind of a narrow squat. So walk your feet about hip distance. If you have the balance here, you can come with your feet together. Otherwise, just stay here. You're going to squat down. Arms are going to come forward. Come back up. Try to keep your shins parallel to the wall. Pulling that belly in. Hinging those hips back. Find the chair that's invisible behind you. Or if you have a chair to sit your butt in, go for it. Just make sure you come back up. Two more. Shoulders back and down. We're going to hold this next one down. Now I want you to bring your hands in. You can have your palms together. You can do the fist bump here, or you can have kind of this martial arts style hold, or you can be here, or you can be here. What we're going to do is rotate. You're going to kind of scoop around and just rotate your torso, trying to keep so if we're rotating over to the left, you're going to try to keep this right knee from coming forward with you. So you don't want to do something like this. And you also want to keep those hands close to your chest here, so you're not coming over here with just your arms. So you're going to rotate and then go to the other side. And rotate. Other side. Rotate. Other side. Stand up if you need to take a break for your thighs. Rotate. Other side. Watch those knees. Couple more. Last two. Pushing the shoulder blade back and down. Back up to the center. Reach your arms up. Take them out wide. And up. Arms out to the sides. Hinging at the hips. You're going to come forward as far as you feel comfortable. Scoop that up. And exhale. And again, you're going to lift. Arms out to the sides. Scoop it up. Exhale. I said one more time, but I meant to. Or did I? And exhale. Come down. Come halfway up. Put your hands right on your shins or your knees or your thighs. Wherever you're at, I want you to give me a nice long back. Pushing that tail back toward the wall behind you. Straighten out your spine. Oh, it's Rex. Drop your chair, your tailbone, roll all the way up. Big shoulder roll back. And then you're just going to give me some hip circles here.
Hello.
Hi there.
Where's he still?
In here.
Do you want the table back?
Both directions. Bring your hands down to your thighs again, and you're going to drop your shoulders and drop your tail, round your chin forward, round your back. Reverse that. Lift your forehead, lift your tailbone up. And again. And reverse. Drop your chin, drop your tail, roll all the way up. Let's take a step back with the left foot. You're going to hinge those hips forward. So drop your tail, press your hips forward so you're stretching out the front of your back leg. You can reach that arm up if you would like. Trying to feel the stretch through the front of that back leg. You can open that chest up and around a little bit if you want here. Pushing that back heel down to get a stretch through your calf. Bring the elbow down. Step halfway forward with that foot. You're going to lift the other toe toward the ceiling. Sit your hips back and stretch your hamstrings. So make sure you've got balance here. If you need to hold on to something, go for it. I really want you to have the balance here so you can get a good stretch through the back of your leg. If you feel comfortable coming down a little bit further, make sure your back stays straight and your chest goes toward your thigh. Set that toe down, come forward, switch sides, push your back heel down onto the floor, and then tilt that tailbone, really stretching out the front hip flexors in the back leg. And you're going to reach up with that arm. You can open out a little here if you want. Bring that arm down, half step forward, point the toe to the ceiling, and sit back, long back. Pretend like you're trying to drag this front heel back toward the other foot, and then lift your tail at the same time. That'll give really nice stretch through the hamstrings. Set that toe down, come forward, together here. And if you're sticking around, go ahead and grab a mat. We're going to make our way down to the floor to do some more core work and some more stretching. I'm going to take my socks off too. So go ahead and take a nice deep breath in here. We're going to make our way down. If you're not comfortable with downward facing dog, just go ahead and come down onto your hands and knees. Otherwise, we're going to make our way down through down dog. So you're going to flat back here. Set your hands on the floor if you need to. Bend your knees to get them there, and then just walk your feet back so that you're making kind of an upside down V with your body, lifting the tailbone, pressing those shoulders through. You can kind of pedal your feet here if your calves are still feeling kind of stiff. Lifting that tailbone really high. One more time, push back with your hands. And then you're going to kind of shift your hips forward, bending your knees, set them down. And we're just going to roll through cat-cow here a few times. So again, lifting that tailbone up toward the ceiling, lifting the head up toward the ceiling, and then reverse that for cat. So drop the tailbone, round the shoulders, really drop the chin. Nice long stretch through the entire spine. And again, lift the tail, lift the forehead. And reverse one more time. Go ahead and give me a neutral spine here, but keep your abs engaged and really keep those shoulders engaged. Pull them back and down. Your shoulders should be right over your wrists. And I want you to take your right arm out and your left leg back. So opposite arm and leg extended. You're just holding it here. Really long. Try not to open up that left hip. So keep your hips squared up toward the floor. Keep your shoulder pushed back and down. Your neck is neutral, and you're going to bring those down and switch. Extend the left arm, right leg. Hold that belly in. Try not to open up through the hips. Try not to lean too much into that leg that's on the floor. Bring those together again. You're going to switch again. We're going to add on to this. So extend the arm, extend the leg. Now bring your elbow to your knee and your knee to your elbow. Extend back out. Do that again. Crunching, really finding that balance, really strong through the right hip and the left shoulder. One more time. Set it down and switch. When you're doing this, keep the abs engaged so you're not rocking side to side. Extend, elbow to knee. Extend. One more time. Extend. Bring it down. Go ahead and shift your hips back. Walk your hands forward. Let your shoulders relax down. Lift your hips back up, and then just set your elbows down here so your forearms are on the mat, your tail's kind of lifted. I want you to walk your knees back if that's comfortable, and we're going to come into a plank. So you can stay here on your knees, but just make sure you're keeping your core engaged, abs tight, and your shoulders are over your elbows at this point. If you are more comfortable here in a high plank, go ahead and come up to that. Whatever works for you. And if you're feeling okay about it, just lift your knees and hold that plank. Strong legs. Squeeze those thighs, squeeze your belly, pull your ribs in. Try not to dump into your shoulders. Pull them back and down. Engage the abs. Keep going. Let's do a count of 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, set your knees down, push back with your hips, and then push forward with your hips. Set your hips on the floor, walk your elbows forward a little bit, and come up into a little modified cobra here, or sphinx pose. I'm very sweaty. Shake your hips side to side a little bit. Let your glutes relax, let your low back relax. Go ahead and come down, chin to hands, and lift your heels up one at a time. Stretch out your quads. Keep breathing. One more of these. Set your feet down. Bring your hands to your side. So you can stick with that modified cobra with your forearms down. If you're feeling like you want a little bit more of a stretch, you can put your hands on the floor and then press up a little bit higher. You don't have to lock your arms out, but I do want you to really roll those shoulders back and down so you're not all shrugged up here. So push up, push your chest forward through your shoulders. And then just try to relax that low back and hips. That feels good. Couple more seconds. Now I want you to just push your hips back all the way onto child's pose again. Lift the hips up. You're going to have a seat. So just sitting up tall to start, feet out in front of you, nice long back. Point your toes to the ceiling, lift your hands up toward the ceiling, and then leading with your chest, fold forward over those legs. Try to keep your legs straight as much as you can. If you have a strap or something here, you can kind of pull yourself farther forward. Try not to round here too much. That's not getting as much of a stretch in those hamstrings. So you really want to push your chest forward over your thighs. And then just wherever you are, just hang out for a few seconds. You can kind of squeeze your legs, push them down really hard, and then relax. And that might let you get a little bit farther. You can use your arms to kind of pull yourself a little closer to those legs. But don't force it too much. You can rock side to side here. If you've been taking advantage of the weather and gardening quite a bit, your hamstrings might be pretty tight. So just kind of breathe through this for a few more seconds, pushing that chest forward, nice long back. And then just relax the back, roll over your thighs. And then roll back up. You're going to slide your tail toward your knees here. So you have most of your body is on the front part of your mat. Arms out, we're going to do some roll-ups. So if you need to assist yourself on the way down or up, just grab the backs of your thighs, but still try to keep those abs engaged as much as you can, all the way down and then all the way back up. So you're just going to roll all the way down until you're lying on your mat. Arms come over your head, and then one at a time, starting from the top, you're going to peel that the vertebrae up off the floor and roll up. Again, if you get to that spot where you're like, I need to get up, grab the backs of your legs, give yourself a little bit of an assist. Let's do that again. Roll down. Keeping that core engaged. As always, back up. Again. Don't forget to breathe. Roll up, engage, and down. This should feel kind of good on your spine. Let your neck relax, shoulders relax. Roll up. We're going to do one more of those. All the way down. Come halfway down here, sitting nice and tall, but then you're gonna lean back about 45 degrees, and I just want you to open your arm, come back to the center, other side, and back, keeping those abs engaged. If it's too much, you can sit a little taller here. If you feel that on your low back, or you feel like you're having to let go of those abs and round your spine, you want to keep it nice and long. Keep going. Think of it as trying to push your chest forward. Let's do one more here. Come back into the center, and then just keeping your body nice and tall here, let your right leg come out long. Your left knee is going to stay bent, and then you can actually cross that leg over if you want. You don't have to. And then you're going to rotate. So this hand is going to grab the outside of that knee, and you're just going to rotate your torso, still staying really tall. If you have the flexibility, you can hook that elbow over the knee and really push back with your opposite shoulder. This arm can come back a little farther if you want. Keep breathing. Go ahead and come back to the center. Uncross that leg and switch sides. Again, you're going to start here, and then wherever you're at flexibility-wise, you can hook that elbow. Oof. Come back to the center, uncross your legs, roll back again, bringing your knees with you this time. And just rock side to side, hugging those knees into your chest. Come back into the center. One leg at a time. I want you to extend one leg, keeping the opposite knee hugged in. And then you're going to switch really slowly. So engage those abs again as you switch. And then give your knee a hug, a little stretch through that leg and the hip. And switch. Nice and slow. If you're still looking for more core work, go ahead and lift the shoulders up off the mat as you do this. Keeping those abs engaged, trying not to rock side to side. And switch. And switch. Really pulling that knee in though, because you're also getting this stretch. Switch. Hold it here. If you want to set that foot down, you can, or you can keep it lifted for some quad engagement, and then extend that top leg up toward the ceiling. Your shoulders can stay lifted, or you can let your head come down. If you want your shoulders lifted but your neck is bothering you, take one hand behind your head, and then if you switch, which we're going to do right now, you can take the other hand behind your head. Keeping the shoulders engaged, trying not to rock side to side, just moving those limbs. And switch. Also getting that stretch through the back of the leg. Push the belly button down. Nice tight core. Switch. And switch. shoulders are lifted and you're supporting your head. Remember, you're not cranking that neck. You're just letting your head rest in your hand. Kind of even push that head into your hand a little bit just to make sure you're not stressing your neck out. Switch one more time. So with this right leg lifted, you're going to set your left foot down, set your head down, really pull that leg in and rotate through the ankle. Both directions. Keeping that leg in the air, we're going to stretch the IT band, which is this nice, fun little piece of equipment in your body that gets really, really tight and hurts. If you're familiar with a foam roller, you're probably familiar with your IT band. So you're going to take your opposite hand to the outside of this lifted leg. You're going to let your shoulders come back and down. You're going to try to keep this hip on the floor as you pull this leg up and across your body. Try to keep your leg as straight as you can. If you have to bend your knee or if you need to be out here, that's fine. But you just want to really try to keep that hip down so that you can get the stretch through the outside of that leg. If your leg is straight and you're pulling up and pushing down with your hip, you're really going to start to feel it there. Go ahead and set that hip back down. I know it lifted a little bit. Bend your knee up, the top knee. You're going to bring your other hand to the inside of that knee this time. And now you're keeping the opposite hip pushed down. Open that knee out to the side. Stretching the inner thigh muscles and those inside hip flexors. Back to the center. Pull that knee in. You're going to bring the other leg, bend that knee, and set your foot on the floor. Cross your ankle over your knee in a fourfold stretch. So you really want to kind of get your leg flat here. So if you look, you're actually making a triangle and you're not really tucked in here. So you can use your hand to kind of push that knee away from you. Push your back down at the same time. If you're flexible this way, and your leg is totally flat and you want to pick your foot up to get a little bit more of a stretch, go ahead and do that. I always tell people to just make this your own stretch because it's one of those that you know when your body says hold it right there or don't do that. Just kind of find something that feels good and like it needs a little bit extra and take a few deep breaths. Just relaxing into that stretch. Some people like to lift their leg up here. That's also okay. Or if you do yoga and you do the thread the needle and pull it in that way. This stretch and me are not super friendly, so couple more breaths here. Go ahead and uncross your legs. Set your feet down on the floor and you're going to let those knees go to your left. Keeping your shoulders on the floor. You can take your top leg across up above the bottom leg. You can straighten that top leg out or straighten the bottom leg out. Just trying to get a nice spine rotation here, a little stretch through the low back. You're going to bring your knees back into the center, pulling that left knee in and straightening the left leg up toward the ceiling, extending your bottom leg so your right leg is out long on the floor. Pulling that leg in, give it a nice stretch through the hamstrings. Rotate your ankle. Both directions. And then you're going to take this hand to the outside of the leg. And again, you're just going to try to keep this hip, this right hip or left hip on the floor as you pull this leg across your body, pushing that hip down, keeping your leg straight. You'll feel it if you have tight IT band. And you're going to relax out of that. Bring that knee in. Set your foot down. Cross your ankle over your knee. And press that knee away from you. Again, just make this your own stretch wherever you're at here. Couple more deep breaths in and out. Set your foot down if it's lifted, uncross your legs. Take both knees over to the other side this time, keeping your shoulders on the floor if you can. You can look away from those legs. Bring both knees back to the center. Set your feet down on the floor. Take your feet about mat width apart here. And then one at a time, I want you to just let those knees fall into the center and then lift back up and over. So you're kind of windshield wipering your knees here. Getting a nice stretch through the outside of the hip. One more time. Bring the knees back up, walk your feet in. Take your arms to your sides and kind of roll your shoulders underneath your back, or underneath you here, so you're kind of squeezing them together. Give yourself a nice little platform. Heels are coming close to your sits bones. You're just going to lift those hips up toward the ceiling. Engage your core. If you can, relax your glutes. Relax your glutes. If that feels not great on your back, just squeeze them back up. Support that low back. Squeeze your hamstrings though. So you can actually lift those toes up to engage your hamstrings a little more, and then lower back down. Rock through your pelvic bone a few times here. And then you're going to lift again. And lower. Rock forward and back. We're going to do one more. Lift up. What time is it, Mom? I will tell you in a second. Okay. And lower. Pull your knees into your chest. And rock side to side. 9:58. Okay. Center yourself up. You're either going to roll to one side and push yourself up to a seated position or rock up to a seated position. Whatever is the best way for you to get there. Take your feet out long and just point and flex your toes a few times. Getting some ankle flexibility. Let's roll our wrists out too. And just take those ankles side to side. Sitting nice and tall. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. And let's just take the head side to side here. If you would like a little bit more inner thigh stretch, you can actually bring your heels in here into this. I always skip this one because I'm really not great at this. And just keep taking your head side to side. Push your shoulders out of your ears. Sitting nice and tall. Center your head up. Let your ear come to one side, one ear to one shoulder. And then bring that chin down to the sternum. Come to the other side. Those shoulders relax. If you've been doing a lot of sitting at a desk or sitting in a chair reading, something like that, just really get those traps relaxed, those big muscles right around your neck, right across the top of your back. Just stretch them out, let them relax down. One more time here. Bring your head back to the center. Lift your head up if that feels okay on your neck. And lower your chin. One more time. You're going to bring your knees to one side. Roll over onto all fours. Pick one foot up, set it down. Press to standing. And just shake it out. Car wash. Center your arms up. Lift your arms up toward the ceiling. Push your shoulders down and back. Reach all the way up, a little bit higher if you can. Bring those arms behind your back. Set them on the small of your back, your hands, and then just push your hips forward. Give it a little stretch through the front of your body and let that low back just kind of take a break. And then come back forward, reaching forward. Drop your chin, roll all the way up. Shake everything out. And have a great Thursday. Have a good weekend. I'll see you guys next week. All right, I'll be back on Tuesday.